Okay, babe, so we're kicking off today's episode a little bit differently because this episode is a whole different kind of experience. I recorded this, as you'll find out in just a few moments, lying down on the floor by her back door. And there's some really amazing insights that come through from this transmission as I was integrating some really interesting information. What I do want to just very quickly pop in and say before we roll the tape on the episode is that make sure that you listen to the end. There is going to be a portion where I'm going to go through the ways that you can work with me. Don't run away when you get to that point because there's some really powerful, juicy insights that are tucked away at the back end of the episode for you. So please be sure to listen all the way through in order to get all of the gold. Let's get into today. Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is coming to you courtesy of the floor by our back door, where I am lying on the ground staring at the ceiling, contemplating life. And today's episode is a little bit of just random ruminations that felt like they would be useful to record. And yeah. I want to share some of what's going on in my brain because as I was moving through some of the stuff rolling through my brain, I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one that I'm sure feels this way. And I want to, I suppose, leverage my knowledge, my insight, my experience, my struggle, to help others as well. So it's been a very challenging few years. I'm not going to get into it specifically, but it's just, I feel like, there's been so much changing, and in some ways I'm cycling through this repeated experience that has been kind of messing with my mind, if I'm being very honest. And as I came back, so today is Monday. If you recall, Monday is always a grocery day, or at least most of the time it's a grocery day. And I noticed on my way to the store today, this familiar, yucky, gross, sinking feeling. And I've kind of ignored it. I've pushed through it. I've sort of I've reasoned it away on Mondays in past of, I'm just sad because the weekend is over or whatever. But today I had a interesting thought as I was pulling away from the first stop sign, and I was like, why am I taking this energy into my groceries? Because boy, it sure doesn't feel great. And what I discovered is that it was what I've sort of discovered. It's not a full uncovering as yet, but tied to this feeling of frustration around money and specifically income in my life. So I always feel really nervous saying anything like this in any kind of public forum, specifically because, well, for two reasons. I think for one, as someone who writes programs and shares teachings about money, I feel like there's this belief out in the collective that in order for me to share that knowledge and insight and wisdom, I need to be making serious bank, right? And I understand where that belief is coming from because, oh my gosh, it's been something that has been really drummed in by so-called business experts that are like, you can't tell people what you don't know or something, which is true. And also, every time I find myself sort of in this loop of like, who am I have to remind myself that none of my content is specifically like, here's how you become a billionaire. It is all about understanding money, understanding the tools of money, moving through the emotions of money, and the like breaking free of the old conditioning and old patterns and broken habits that we have around money. So in order for me to teach on those things, it makes complete sense that I would be having these specific experiences in my life, because in order to really be able to share insight and knowledge and wisdom and like something that actually fucking works, because there's so much, oh my goodness, there is so much that I have seen in the world, things that I have invested in, people that I have like put a tremendous amount of time and money and energy behind learning from or growing with, that is fucking wrong. Right, my love, I trust that you are getting just so much value out of today's episode, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't very quickly poke in here and just remind you, if you have not yet done so, to get on the Insights email list. It's a juicy space where I share some really amazing insights and transmissions that you literally will not get anywhere else. Click on the link in the show notes to get on the list. And you have people that like, there's a teacher out there who I deeply respect and admire and have followed for a long time. And part of their origin story is how they, started off like $25,000, $30,000 in debt, and they were completely broke. And now they have like a 8-figure business or something. And that gets us all vibed. We're like, yeah, that's amazing. I want that too. But what I've discovered over the years of following this person and learning more about their story and their experiences is that initial debt was a one-time deal. And it was because they made a huge investment in the personal growth sphere. And the majority of their work is based off of what they learned in that. So that's kind of like going, I could use my university degree as an example. Like I had a $40,000 university degree and I was in debt for that for however many years it took me to pay that off. And now I can teach you how to have a university degree. And what I want to be clear about this is not to dismiss this person's story, but to really bring to light the fact that so many, teachers and guides, and I use so-called often because I just feel like it's really, how do you become an expert at anything? And like, I've heard lots of people say, it's not really about being an expert other than like you have slightly more experience than somebody else. And so the common vernacular is to say you're an expert, right? Because let me tell you, if I was offering you, let's say I was offering you, I don't know, massage, and I came to you and said, okay, I'm brand new at doing massage. I've done one massage. I know all the theory. I've been practicing. You would be like my second client. I want you to pay me, I don't know, $5,000 for this massage. I realize that is like outlandish for a massage, but stay with me. You would probably respond with, yeah, no, I'm not paying you $5,000 for a massage. I don't care how good it is. I don't care how well your first client was. Like, that's just not going to happen. Come back and see me when you have more experience. But let's say my experience, everything else is completely the same. But instead I position it to you as, I am the expert in massage. I have been studying massage for 30 years. I have received countless massages, and I've worked with tons of people who, like you, want to find healing, want to find relaxation, and I am offering this unique, one-of-a-kind experience, and through that experience, you're going to feel total relaxation, and your muscles are all going to really come back into harmony. And you will step into your week, your month, whatever ahead, feeling like really great and vibing. And the price for this, or the cost or the investment for this, is $5,000. Well, you are much more likely to say, yes, of course, I like the second one. Okay, I will find a way to make that investment work because this is the expert. They have all this knowledge. They have all this wisdom. But the truth is, it could be the exact same thing. It's just how you present it. So if I say to you, I have these programs on money, they're fucking awesome. You might be like, yeah, okay, cool. Well, you wrote them, so of course you're going to say they're awesome. But like, how does a person say they are the expert at, I don't know, like releasing worry or dealing with doubt or dealing with fear, unless on the daily fucking basis, they are releasing worry and dealing with doubt and dealing with fear, right? Because there's this huge disconnect that seems to be present where we have this sense of like, well, I want to learn from somebody who no longer has those things, because I don't want to have those things. I don't want to have doubt. I don't want to feel shame. I don't want to feel fearful. I don't want to be constantly worrying. So let me go find someone who doesn't have those things, who's somehow, quote, healed them or resolved them or whatever. And I want to follow that person. Now, here's the part that has me lying on the floor in our back entry and like staring at the ceiling. That is what I think so many of us want. And that is not at all what my experience is. So I find myself, it's a very interesting cycle. It happens almost every Monday. It's kind of comical, actually, if you were to step back and have a look at it. But this space of feeling like, fuck, how am I ever going to, move out of this? What is this? Why am I having this experience again? What is it that I'm supposed to learn from this? And also, I thought that I learned so much out of it the last time I did it. Does this mean that like I'm going to be cycling through this experience again in another, 10 or 12 or 15 years? And if so, how much worse is it going to feel? Because it's like this like cycle of up leveling. So when I had my first big increase, it was, as a result of coming out of high school and then university. And then I had a reasonable job. And I was dating this guy and like everything seemed to be really going my way. And then 2012 happened and everything just like fucking evaporated. And I'm like, what is going on? And out of that, like real, like at the end of 2012, I came out of 2012 with a whole bunch more in debt because life keeps costing money, even if you aren't making as much as what you had before, right? Like, so that felt really disheartening. But I finished and came out with an amazing job, making more money than I'd ever made. I ended up meeting the man who is now my husband. Those two things were the catalyst for everything that exists in my life today, where I live, the kind of life experience I have, the friends that I have, the relationships that I have, the body that I have, like all these things. And up until like over the years, my income has increased, my impact has increased. And 2 years ago, I was like, holy shit, I'm making more money than I ever have before. This is amazing. And then we had this like great clearing out again. And I'm back in the cycle of like, what the fuck is going on? So when that happens, right? And then it's like this, it feels like this repeating experience, slightly different, The circumstances are slightly different. I am, of course, different, but I find myself lying here going, well, what the hell? And how do I go out into the world and share what I know to be true and share what I have learned through hard-fought experience? And I know it works because it's not just theory of, oh, okay, do this when you're feeling down. It's like, oh my God, I just want to crawl into a hole and die. And how do I process that emotion? And how do I, deal with feeling doubt or fear or shame or whatever when it relates to my work or my money or, I don't know, whatever experience that is in life, right? But I go through it and I know what I share works because I fucking use the things all the damn time. But it stands in this contrast to how we are taught to be in business, how we are told we are supposed to show up in the world. And there's this very strange space, I feel like, that says we need to be confident in our work, because if we are not confident and we don't believe in it, how is anybody else going to believe in it? If I come to you and I say, well, I think this works because I think this, or, I've tested this and it seems to work for me, why don't you give it a try? But you're like, well, I don't know, you don't sound super confident about it. You are less likely to make the decision to invest and to purchase what I'm offering, right? If I sound unsure about well, can I actually help this person in one-on-one coaching? I don't know. Well, you're going, well, I don't want to invest in, I don't know. I want to invest in, yep, unequivocally, I know 100% that I can help you. Now, I want you to hold that thought in mind as I fast forward this for you. So every coach that I have worked with has said some version of the same. Every program that I have invested in has said some version of the same. If you are struggling with A, B, C, I know that our work together will help you and it will change your life and we will get you to XYZ that you are hoping to have. And do you know what every coach and program that I've invested with has in common? The fact that no matter what the work, no matter what the healing is, no matter what it is, none of them have moved me from point A immediately to point Z and bypassed a whole bunch of the learning. I didn't go from, okay, amazing. I'm having this experience. I'm having this feeling with money or my job or my health or my relationship. And now, in 6 months or in 3 months, I have millions of dollars coming in the bank. I have, the fittest fucking hottest body on the planet. I have this outstanding, amazing relationship that just dropped out of nowhere, because that's not how life works. So the problem is then what happens is we have this disconnect between what we are promised, and that promise is what gets us to make the move. I understand why the promise is said in that way, because we want that, and that promise is what initiates our movement, right? It's what has us going from, not sure if I'm going to put my money here, into, fuck yes, here's my money, let's do this. And that initiation, that movement, that moment of action on our part is what causes the change. Without that, this is why coaching and programs tend not to be free, not just because people deserve, obviously, to be paid for their time and their effort, but if everything were given away for free, we miss out on that activation space, that moment where we say yes and we take an action that causes that initiation. So, for example, the Breakup with Broke program that is so fucking good, oh my gosh, it's only $97. It's not an enormous investment, and I've done that on purpose, even though the program is worth so much more. I was like, this is easily a $500, $600, $700 program, but I don't want to charge that much for that program because my intent for this program is for it to be an easy yes. I want it to be an easy yes. I want to make that initial activation for you easy to say yes to so that you can get into the content and you can actually begin that shift, right? Whereas there's a point that I really wanted to bring to you. It's coming to me. Okay. So if I were to give away my coaching for free, if I were to give away my programs for free, I bypass that moment that you get to create the activation. And as part of that, now there are lots of people who are, constantly investing in programs, constantly hiring coaches, constantly doing all these things. And maybe, I shouldn't say constantly hiring a coach. If you're hiring a coach, you're going into your coaching sessions, but are you going in full out, right? Are you seeing the changes that you want to see? And if not, why not? What's going on? Now, here's the thing that I think this is where the disservice lies. And this is what drives me crazy. And here is the part that I struggle the most when it comes to selling and marketing and sales in general. There is let me say that differently. There is nothing that I can say, do, or create for you that will change things for you unless you actually show up, do the work, are open for the transformation, and like you move through that space. Does that make sense? Let me try to see if I can clarify that a little further. I can be the most amazing coach on the planet. All right. I could be like working with just the most impactful, influential people in the world doing really amazing work. And you're like, fuck, I can't afford you. And I give you a session for free, let's say, or I give you a session for like $100, right? Something so that we don't bypass the initiation. So you still have that moment of activation, but you have access to my skill set, my knowledge, my wisdom. But you come into that session closed or like really struggling and kind of fighting all the way through, arguing for your limitations, right? It doesn't matter how good I am at my job. If you aren't in that space of readiness, if you aren't in that space of openness, if you are not ready to let go of what you've been holding on to in order to allow the next level to move through, well, then nothing I can say or do can change that for you. And I'm just having I got to share this with you in real time. I'm going to try not to drop my phone on my face while I change hands because my one hand is going numb. I'm just having this realization, and I'm going to do what feels very scary here, and I'm going to share this with you just right here on the podcast. So here we go. As I heard myself saying those words, because this recording is a little bit like a journal for me and a little bit like a podcast for you, as I heard myself saying those words, that until you're ready to let go, nothing I can say or do can change it for you. What I recognize is there's something about this experience that I'm not ready to let go of yet. And I suppose that is the moment of awareness that I have been asking for this morning. That moment of awareness where I've been going, like, what am I supposed to learn here? What is this moment about? And this is why I sometimes do. So as I mentioned earlier in this recording, that I was talking through some emotions on my way to the grocery store. And as I lay down when I came home and I put all the groceries away, and I was like, got an email that was, not what I was hoping for. And I just sat down on the back step, and then I was like, I just want to fucking lie down. I don't know what to do. And I looked at the ceiling and my mind was spinning, and I'm like, okay, I need to just talk these things out loud. And I honestly started with, I don't want to talk these things out loud. Because if I say these things out loud, then I feel like I'm going to start crying, and I don't want to cry today because I'm just fucking over being like tearful and like, I got shit to do. But I asked for clarity. I asked for awareness. I asked for insight. And sitting down, lying down, I literally look like, ladies, you'll know about this. I look like I'm at the doctor with my legs in the stirrups because I have my feet now up on the walls to try to alleviate some of the pressure on my back while I'm lying here. As I'm lying here in this very bizarre position that if anybody walked in the back door, they'd be like, what the fuck is happening right now? I find myself going, that's the answer. That's the next piece that I have been asking for. And that piece is saying, there's something about this experience that you're not ready to let go of yet. And until we're ready to let go of it, it will stay. Because it's serving us, it's gifting us something. And I know that seems so frustrating and annoying and like it must be wrong, right? When we are having an experience that feels no fun, when we are struggling with money or struggling with our weight, or we've been single forever when we really want to have a loving relationship, when I don't know, we're in a job that's going nowhere and you can't seem to find your way out. You've been applying for jobs forever, or maybe you are in a space where you're, between jobs, you got laid off or you quit and you've been looking for work for a year or 2 years or 3 years. And you're like, fuck, what is going on? All I'm getting is rejection letters for jobs that I'm a perfect fit for. I don't understand. Why am I still here? What you don't want to hear is, well, you're here because there's something about this that you're not ready to let go of. Because you're like, oh, I'm ready to let go of being unemployed. I'm ready to let go of feeling broke. I'm ready to let go of this extra weight. I'm ready to let go of feeling single all the time. But there's something about it that is giving us some kind of service, right? And everybody is going to be different. So for me, the work today, this week, going forward, I guess, is to be open to understanding what it is about this particular experience that I haven't been ready to let go of. And I have some suspicions, and I'm not going to share them out because I want to process them on my own, and I may share them later and I may not, who knows? But there are some markers of my experience right now, which are very similar to experiences that I had years before. And when I moved out of those experiences, there was a sense of, what's the word? What's the emotion? Maybe like, almost like a bit of not grief, like grief adjacent. I don't know what that emotion would be. A little bit of sadness, I think, a little bit of missed opportunity because, and this is going to sound the most ridiculous thing ever. I'm going to color this in with this one specific example because I think this will help make this a little bit more clear. I have released, oh my God, so many thousands of dollars of leveraged money, aka debt, over the years. It's kind of ridiculous. And the big win was releasing all of the leveraged money, actually shortly before our wedding, which was a big fucking deal. And that came as a result of a cumulative effort of years and years and years of steady movement towards it. And then like a beautiful push over the finish line through a financial gift. And that was amazing because that was like my dream. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be amazing if this money just like flows in and it's just all gone? Like that would be so awesome. All gone meaning like the debt is all gone, not like my money is all gone. And I was like, that would be so amazing. So that happened. And then afterward, in the months and well, really, truly years to follow, there have been these moments of kind of feeling like, okay, well, that was really awesome. And I'm super grateful that that happened. But I also really wanted to, get there myself, to have that moment of pride where I paid everything off through my own work and my own effort and my own intent. And I missed out on that. So perhaps that's part of what I'm processing right now in my own life. And I'm sure that is having impact on my business and how I feel about sales and selling and marketing and all of that jazz. But I hope that as an example, it sort of colors in for you that like, it doesn't seem logical, right? So if the logical part of your brain is responding to me right now going, but Amy, like how fucking amazing is it that happened? I mean, that's the dream. And you're right. It is. It was one of my dreams and that happened and I got to manifest that in and I got to experience that and all the joy that came with it and the other side of the coin, the shadowy feelings of it, the feelings of like I just described. It's like, oh, but wait. So perhaps having this experience now is allowing me an opportunity to have the other experiences that I hoped for, right? The other ones that I intended of, the other ones that I have, put forward and was manifesting in. I don't know. Could be not. Anyway, I think that's where I'm at today. I think that's all I want to say for today. In my clumsy attempt to give you insights into what is available for you in regards to my work. As I mentioned earlier, I have the Breakup with Broke program. It is only $97 for my fellow Canadians. You will see on the sales page, there is a link to pay in Canadian dollars. It is only for my Canadian peeps. Okay, so if you live elsewhere in the world, don't be shady. You will see a note on there that says, if you live somewhere else and you try to pay in Canadian dollars, your purchase will be canceled and you will be refunded and not allowed to purchase again. But it is only $97. So the link for that is in the show notes. Really awesome audio only journey. Doesn't come with homework, but it does come with daily practices. They are short audios. We talk about releasing worry. We talk about shifting fear. We reframe debt. We talk about your brain. And week 5, which is in the process of being written and recorded right now, is really like the moving on, the transition point from this old, gross, broken, broke feeling habits, patterns of vibes into transitioning into life moving forward. I'm also creating a really amazing freebie. It's not quite ready for signing up yet, but potentially by the time this recording goes out, it will be, because the recordings drop in like 3 or 4 weeks, I think, from while I'm lying on the floor recording this for you. So there is a freebie, and it is a 3-day audio. Again, audio only, similar-ish format to Breakup with Broke, because it is intended to be the freebie to help you lead into the Breakup with Broke journey. And that freebie will focus on releasing shame, which is big, perfect timing, and I just wrote that. Oh, and the ideal state. So 3 things that's all I'm going to say for right now, but 3 elements related to specifically our journey with money, but definitely also related to our journey with all of our desires and the things that we want to craft in. So I anticipate that URL is going to be amyvanmeel.com/shift. But again, that will be in the show notes. So check out the show notes for that freebie. If you're on the fence about Breakup with Broke and you want to get a little teaser, do that freebie first and then come join me inside Breakup with Broke. And then for those of you who are on a deeper, no, let me say that differently, because you don't have to be on a deeper growth journey. For those of you who are wanting a more high touch, high care connection, I offer one-on-one coaching. I offer it in 3 ways. You can do a single session, all right? Just one-on-one coaching. We can talk about, well, just about anything that you want to in life for a single session. I offer a 3-month container. This is really good if you are wanting to really move through something that's been kind of plaguing you in life. Like I've used coaching in past before to deal with guilt or to deal with career progression or, oh my gosh, like what haven't I used coaching for really? I've used coaching for like where it's been, some days we talk about relationships, some days we talk about health, some days we talk about the job, some days we talk about, I don't know, just life, right? It's emotional processing. The container of coaching is a really beautiful space where we work together. And here's what I love so much about being able to work as a coach and walk alongside you with the journey. Yes, as I said before, your results are on you because I can't do it for you. That's not how life works. That bypasses the law of free will, and that's not okay. But when we work together in the one-on-one container, especially if we do the 3-month container, and we can stretch that out for up to a year as well. I said that weird. It's not that we stretch one container across 12 months. It's that instead of just a 3-month container, we can do a 12-month container. It has more coaching and et cetera. Do you see what I'm saying about selling not being my main jam? Because I'm like, wait a minute. In those deeper containers, come on, Amy, focus. In those deeper containers, it's not just that you get to process and have someone witness you, which is, oh my God, so fucking powerful as you're moving through things, but you also have access to all of my insights and wisdom and experience and the tools and strategies and things that I use. And let me tell you, when we work together in a one-on-one container in this way, it's amazing what you will create as a result. I've worked with folks in jobs who have created like job up-leveling. I can't even really call it a promotion because like in one case we had someone who jumped, I think 2 or 3 levels, which just straight up shouldn't have been possible, but our work together made that possible. And they were like, OMG, how did I get here? And then they go, I know how I got here. I worked with Amy. That's fucking awesome. I have people who, when I started working with them was like very entry level, and I have now learned they are in negotiations for a 6-figure job. And that was over 5 years. Okay. So like I'm talking that container, that space of working together is really powerful. I've had people move through relationship challenges and, buy houses and, deal with family issues. And like, there's just so much that we can talk about. I also really love to work with high performing leaders. So perhaps you own your own business. Interior designers are my jam. If you're a designer or you know a designer, hello, I have a huge amount of insight and knowledge that I can work with you as you are growing your business and facing challenges in your design business. If you're managing teams, these people are my jam. All right. So if that's you or someone that you know that has been like really struggling, that one-on-one coaching container is so fucking awesome. And then the last option for you is I offer an executive leadership mastermind. This is a single session. It is specifically for leaders. Now, you don't have to be leading a team. You could be an entrepreneur, so you are leading your business. You are making some maybe there's a strategic move. Maybe your business is at this inflection point. You're not quite sure where the next, like, how do you model the business coming up next? What do you shift? Something, needs to change, but you're not quite sure what that is. Perhaps you are leading teams. So this could be those of you working in corporate, and you're like, okay, I'm struggling with this, XYZ problem with this person on my team, or I have this project on my plate and I really, my boss is expecting these results, but I can't seem to figure out how to move past it. I can't seem to figure out how to solution this space, or I'm ready for, the next, project, and how do I present myself, or how do I strategize so I'm ready for it? So that's what the executive level mastermind is for. It is a single 2-hour session. It's high impact. You're going to get all of my insight from many years of running my business, many years of running extremely high performing teams in the tech industry. Plus, of course, like all my years of personal growth and all of that kind of learning. And we come together to figure out where you're going next, so that you have a much more clear direction and you can begin to move in that. It's so fucking powerful to have that. So those are 3 different ways that you can work with me in a one-on-one capacity. And then, of course, the last option is the Wealthy as Fuck program, which I haven't done any promotion for in quite some time. If you are interested in that, drop me a DM, because you should be able to just go to amyvanmeal.com/money, and I think you should be able to enroll. But let's have a chat. Let's see where you're at. That program is so juicy, and is also something that's like, I was trying to get all of the lessons into audio format as well, and I think I stalled out with just everything else going on this year. So send me a DM and let's chat about that. What I want to finish today, if you're still with me, first of all, I'm so fucking pleased that you're still with me. Thank you for allowing me the space and the grace to bumble my way through, the work that I offer, and ways that you can work through with me. Because I know, that there's probably a tremendous amount of people that might have gotten that far and go, and I'm out, don't need to hear the rest of this episode. So if you're still with me, first of all, thank you so much. And actually, let's drop a little golden nugget here. And then I'm going to do something that I've not done before, where I'm going to preface at the front of the episode and say something like, hey, you got to listen through to the end to get this little golden nugget. So here's our golden nugget. This is what I want you to really take away with, walk away with, as you move into your week. I want you to just take a moment and tap in and feel into your heart, feel into your body, feel into that like quiet space of knowing within, and ask yourself, what is something that, how do I want you to phrase this question? That thing that's on your mind, when we talked about that space of like repeating experiences, or being in a space of, struggle or challenge, or where you're just like, why am I still here? To think about that, and while you're tuned into that quiet internal knowing, and ask yourself the question of, what is it that I'm not ready to let go of yet as it relates to this? What is it that I'm holding on to that this experience is giving me? And set the clear intention, just intend. It doesn't have to be this like crazy complicated thing, but intend to receive insight, intend to receive an answer, intend to receive some kind of awareness that rolls through, much like what I shared with you earlier, that will help you move forward as it relates to this particular experience. And then here's where the nugget of it really comes together.
take that awareness, feel that, ever-present gratitude. I know if you're here, you're someone who probably generally feels gratitude a lot of the time, right? So we don't need all these gratitude lists. Sometimes that can be helpful, but for so many of us, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Feel that gratitude for that awareness coming through, and then play with that awareness. Allow it to open up. Allow it to offer you this really beautiful gift, because there is a gift in it for you. There is a gift in the awareness for me that says, oh, there's something that I'm not ready to let go of yet. What is it? And from a place of not forcing, right? Because that's what we want. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say we. Me, Virgo, Capricorn person really wants to be like, okay, I have this. What's next? Go, 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 go. I have to remind myself often like, yo, bitch, sit your ass down. Just calm the fuck down. We don't need to, go racing ahead like an F1 car on this. We can just let it open up, even though that makes us feel like death having to wait for things to come forward. So from a place of non-forcing, of a spirit of allowing, of a spirit of just trusting, as hard as that fucking feels, trusting that there is more opening up for you, and that it's coming, and it's already coming in the most perfect timing, as quickly as it can, in the speed at which you are able to receive it. And ooh, that's a good one. I really like that. I need to make a mental note for that. The speed at which you are able to receive it. And I want to just color that in very quickly before we end here. The reason that I say it that way is, if when I was 26, I had met the man who is now my husband, I wouldn't have been ready for him. And I would have had all kinds of reasons why it wouldn't have worked out. If I had gotten my job and promotions in tech, 5 years earlier than I did, I wouldn't have been ready for it. I wouldn't have been able to handle the responsibility of the team. I probably would have been burned out really fucking fast, because I had other things that I was processing and learning at the time. Now, it's very easy for us in our humanness to go, ugh, like it should have been here sooner. I feel like I was ready sooner. But I'm going to guess, and I suppose this is where I'm coming at from a place of trust, that if it didn't arrive sooner, it's because either I wasn't ready for it or something in the world wasn't ready for it. When I was single, I remember this, and this is where I'll end on today. When I was single, I remember thinking in my 20s, there's this real sense of like, if you're single, you need to like work on yourself so that you can be ready for your partner, right? I definitely heard a lot of that. I heard a lot of manifestation teachers talk about that, of like, well, you need to be the person that they want to be with. So it's like, okay, go, while you're single, go do your healing and do your whatever else. But that bypasses an enormous part of the equation. And if you're not sure what part of that equation is, I'm about to tell you. That part of the equation is the other person in the relationship. Okay? I can be as ready and as beautifully healed and as like well-rounded and happy and confident and like whatever as I want to be. But if my ideal mate, right? My perfect partner, my soulmate, whatever you want to call that person, this person that I am calling in through the steady desire in my heart, if they're not ready for whatever reason and they show up early, then it wouldn't work out, because it can't, because there isn't a match yet. So it's really easy in hindsight to look at, and I'll use my husband and I as an example, because it is such a great example. It's really easy to look at where I was in my 20s and go, oh, I could have sure, I was ready for a serious relationship earlier. And I suppose I could have been ready to meet him at 26, I suppose. But when I was 26, he was still married. So that would be really awkward. When I was 27 or 28, he was going through a separation. When I was, like, I don't know all the dates and all the ages or whatever, but like it wasn't necessarily that I hadn't done enough or I wasn't ready enough, but the other part of the equation was still processing and becoming ready. He had to have his own experiences, and he had a different relationship that he went through, and that relationship had to end in order for him to have certain experiences and certain lessons and certain awarenesses and certain like whatevers, so that we would be the kind of couple and partnership that we are today. I can't rush that. I can't make that go any faster. If I knew that you and I were going to work together in a one-on-one coaching container, and I'm like, oh, come on, I just want you to come in today. Like, say yes to, like, just sign up, just go to the sales page. Like, come on, let's get fucking started. I'm so ready to work with you, but you aren't ready yet. Well, that's a huge disservice for me to like force that on you, right? So the really hard part of being human and being an aware human and like going through this is that like, fuck, okay, there's a certain amount that I can do. And also there's a whole bunch that isn't part of my job. And for those of us who are like real go-getters, real high achievers, people who are familiar with putting in the time and the effort to generate a result, that waiting, that trusting is fucking hard. I get it. So allow yourself the space and the grace to move through that, and know that perfect timing doesn't mean that it's going to rush in tomorrow. And it might be some time before it arrives, but it's arrived at the time which you can receive it in the most juicy, wonderful, amazing, abundant way. And that's why it's perfect. All right, my loves, it's official. My butt is now numb, which seems odd to me because I'm lying on the floor, but I guess because the floor has no cushioning on it. So I'm going to sit up and do my best not to be super dizzy and strap on a sports bra so I can go do my workout. Wish me luck. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it out. I really would appreciate your help and support getting more listeners to this podcast and bringing more people along for the journey. All my love. Bye for now.
Tell me if this resonates. You're a driven, high-performing professional. You've achieved some measure of success, but there's this knowing, this sense, this quiet calling from within that says there's more waiting for you. It might be in your career, it might be in your relationships, in your health, your personal fulfillment, but you just know that there's something more that you want to crack open, and you're just not sure how to get there. Imagine what could happen if you were to work with a coach who really listens deeply to what you're sharing, who sees your unique brilliance and reflects it back to you and helps you create expansion in every area of your life. Why my clients choose to work with me is many, many things. Among them being that I bring over 2 decades of experience investing in coaching and therapy and personal development so that you get to benefit from proven tools and deep wisdom. You will feel truly heard and understood, and this is something that my clients say over and over is one of the most profound and impactful parts of working together with me, and is where their transformation really begins. I guide you to reframe your challenges, to unlock new possibilities, and to ultimately manifest the life that you are craving to live. My coaching isn't about giving answers. It is about asking the most powerful questions and sharing with you wisdom from living in the trenches so that you can discover your own truth, direction, and power. You can expect a very safe, confidential space with me. There's no judgment here, just support and insight and practical strategies tailored to you. Whether you want to advance in your career, find more joy in your day-to-day life, deepen your relationships, work on your health, our work together is personalized to your goals. This is not about quick fixes, my love. I am all about lasting change that feels authentic and empowering. Picture yourself 6 months after we work together, clear, confident, living a life that feels in alignment for you, that feels magical and powerful, and that you just wake up every day like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my life. That's what we can accomplish together through the power of coaching rooted in empathy, experience, and the deep belief in your limitless potential. If you're ready to invest in yourself and create real, lasting expansion, it's time that we work together. This is your invitation to step into a bigger, more fulfilling life, no matter where you want to grow. To find out more, you can reach out to me by email, amy@daretobegin.net, or hit me up on the DMs on Instagram. If you're ready to say yes right now, then head on over to amyvanmeel.com/next level and secure your spot today. I'm so excited to work with you, my love. I can hardly wait to see what we create for you. Let's go. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following @AmyVanMeel or visit my website at amyvanmeel.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.